Hello and welcome to this new lecture on props data. In the previous lesson, we went over how to use state, which is an event available in React Native. Okay, so a new React Native hook related to props will be covered in this session. Props refers to the method used to transfer data from one component to another. As you are aware, state hooks are only useful for changing data dynamically within a single component. If you wish to modify data dynamically between different components, you should use props. Prop use can also affect your state. So this idea will be covered later in this session. Alright, so create a distinct component first. Different components were made for the screen, but for the time being, make a separate component within the app.js file to work swiftly. In the app.js file, copy the code and paste it once more. Write the second component in the text element so that you can identify the first and second components. Remove the state hook for now. Remove the function and variable as well because they are not required. Declare a variable with the name props component and the type const. Save the file after adding the props component tag underneath the button tag. Now, if you open an application, you'll notice that the screen has been divided into two sections. To function properly, you must remove the style in order to grasp the idea. Align the elements, take the flex out, and save the file. Now you can see that each component in the program is printed separately. Go to View Element now, then select Writing Styles, .second instead of fashions.container. The style function will now be copied and pasted below. Alright, change the container for the second and select the colors red and blue for the backdrop. Save the file now, then open the application to observe that the components are printed in various colors. The backdrop should be green because blue does not seem to be a good choice. The size of the component will increase in the application when you make it 100 units high. Okay, so here two separate elements are at work. In this session, we'll cover how to add events to these components. Let's try parsing data via props right away from one component to another. First off, declare a let variable with the name new data and give it the name Josh. Add new data below in the tags as well as receiving new data. Now go to the const variable props component and enter props in brackets since you are using props to get the value of the new data in the second component. Now change the text element from second component to props.newData. This means that the value you obtain from new data will be sent to another component via props. Now that the file has been saved, you can see that the code is operating correctly. Now, if you want the data to be altered automatically when you hit a button, you can, because you are currently providing data in a dynamic manner. Hooks will be necessary if you want to alter data through an event. Alright, so go to app.js file, declare a variable using the array const, and then add set new data to the const element. Remove the let variable now. Okay, so let's now transmit some data through an event. Create a new button for this purpose with the name change component data. Color it in gray and save the document. Go to the application now and you'll see that the button with the gray background has been added. Go to onPress keyword now. Use the arrow function. Set new data and pass the string with the name trumping name. Okay, Peter is also used by default in the useState hook. Now, if you go to the application, you can notice that Peter is printed there by default. The name will now be changed automatically from Peter to Trump if you click the alter component data button. Alright, now, if you click the press here button, Joe and Sam will be turned into Carlos and Peter, respectively. Okay, so in this way, you can transmit data through props. So if you recall from the previous lesson, it was mentioned how using state hooks prevents data from being passed from one component to another. However, You can use the props hook to transmit data from one component to another. And yeah, so that's basically it. With this approach, you may transmit data through props from one component to another. Alright, so that's it for this lecture. Thank you very much for watching, and see you soon in the next one.